Okay, let's take a look at some of these sample due process hearing requests and give you some of what I think are the high points of each of these. This one here, they all kind of start out the same. Inside your folder, you'll see that right here is a PDF, a due process hearing request. This is the most recent one that I was able to find. This is the official one. This is the one that will assure you that you'll get designated as a collection due process hearing and not as an equivalent hearing. The reason you want that, you want the collection due process hearing because it suspends collection activity. And there's a timeliness factor. It has to be made within 30 days after they send you the notice. So much of the time they're not sending notices. Okay, so let's go to, okay, this one here is in your package. If you look here, it's the addendum to the collection due process request form. And this is one that you might want to just send right out of the chute. Just get this on its way ASAP, because what this has is it has a sequence of issues to raise that there's no way they can call them frivolous. And so this one here goes straight out, and you know, go down through here and edit it so that, you know, if you see something that you don't like, you know, like for example, I hereby requested collection alternatives including offering compromise, and you know, like look at this. It says I agree to provide the requested financial information and obey all laws passed by the Congress. You know, it's like, well, shoot, man, I don't want to give them my requested information, but you know, maybe you do. But at any rate, if you don't want to do this one, then delete it and renumber these puppies. Okay, and so that is the addendum to collection due process hearing request form. Now let's go to this next one, and here are some aspects of this one that I like. This is a really short one, and it was this was successful. It got a levy stopped immediately. I mean, like the notice of release of levy came the next day to the employer, and as you can see, here's the issue that's raised. The procedures to effect the levy in this section right here were not followed, and there's a difference. It was not less than 30 days before the day of the first levy, and then it says look at this. It says, please be sure the correct code is entered in the computer, suspend collection activity, and notify that in this case it was an employer that the levy was not to take effect until my appeal has been heard. Thank you in advance. And so that went in, and it sailed right through. It was successful. Now let's go to this next one here. There's an aspect about this. This also had to do with the collection due process hearing notice was never received. And with this one went the solemn declaration. You say, I declare under penalty of perjury that I never received a collection due process hearing notice, and I never refused one, and my current address is the last known one in the IRS is the last known address in the IRS files. So in other words, the fact that I kind of deprived you of, or that I, you know, kept my address a secret, you know, is a dead issue because you have the correct address at the IRS. So that went together with this one. And this one here cites from the Code of Federal Regulations that has to do with the collection due process hearing notices. And it says, since my solemn declaration is the truth, I'm convinced you'll have to find you failed to properly provide me with notice. And I think you want to suspend collection activity as well. In particular, I refer to the levy, and a copy of that levy is attached. So if you've got a number of levies, you may want to take and attach all of those. And let's see. So this is an aspect that I like about this one, is attach a copy of the levies and tell them that you want them to suspend collection activity. Send in that release of levy. Now here's one that that is chock full. This one here is hearing requests that release the IRS of burden. Okay, this one here is just chock full of authority. I wrote it, and And then after I wrote it, I came to a revelation that administrative procedures, the burden is on the movant. And they are the ones who want to levy. So let's don't relieve them of the burden. I perceive that this basically, what happened on this one is that I put in all this authority. It's almost like I was writing a brief, which I think is something that needs to be done. In other words, I think you need to set out, why you think you're right. And as you can see, I've quoted a bunch of cases here, and there's authority in this that you may want to use yourself. You may want to copy and paste this. You may want to, put this into your own. And however, what I think needs to happen to keep the burden on them is you need to cite some authority and then ask the hearing officer a question. What authority do you have that would contradict this, or why do what authority do you have to support a position that I'm wrong? And make the burden be on them. Make them write you a brief in response, and we'll see more of that coming up here. So that's all on these sample hearing request forms. Let's talk about what needs to go into these some more on the next video.